Hi everyone, you're welcome back to my channel. My name is Nancy, and if this is your first time here, you're also welcome. Kindly subscribe, share and like my videos, and also put on your notification bell to be notified when I upload new tutorials. In today's tutorial, I'll be showing you how I made this oversized t-shirt dress. So the black fabric is called a crepe fabric, and the amount of this fabric is 1.5 yard. For a plus size person, you should make use of 2 yards of the crepe fabric. So I use this Ankara print fabric for the patch pockets and the sleeves, and the amount of this fabric is about 26 inches, not up to 1 yard. So let's get started. I folded the fabric into two, and I further folded the fabric into two again, so I practically folded the fabric into four. To know the wideness of the fold you need, you divide your hip circumference by 4 and you add extra 5 inches to that. The first step is to mark the shoulder line. On this side of the fold, I would mark the neck width. The neck width I used is 4 inches. For a plus size person, you should make use of 5 inches so you can conveniently wear the dress as it has no zipper. The neck depth is 1 inch. I placed my tape vertically from the shoulder line to mark 1 inch and connected it to the neck width. My shoulder measurement is 14 inches. I divided it by 2 and I had 7 inches. I placed it on the shoulder line to mark 7 inches. And since this is a drop shoulder t-shirt, from this 7 inches point, I'll be marking the length of the sleeve. So for the length of the sleeve, I used 7.5 inches. To get the shoulder slope, I placed my tape from this point downward to mark 1 inch and connected this point to the neck width. The next step is to mark the armhole line. I placed my tape from the tip of the shoulder slope to mark 9 inches. For a plus size person, you should mark 11 inches. Now I would connect these points together. The next step is to mark the full length of the dress. I placed my tape on the shoulder line vertically, and I want the full length of my dress to be 38 inches. So I added 2 inches sewing allowance to the bottom, which made it 40 inches altogether. So on the hem line, I would place the tape to mark my hip circumference divided by 4 plus 4 inches allowance by this side. Now I would extend this point vertically upward. Getting to the bottom of the armhole, I made a little curve. The next step is to add half-inch sewing allowance on the top of the shoulder slope for the joining of both the front piece and the back piece. Recall that the fabric was folded into 4. This simply means that I have cut out both the front piece and the back piece. So the neckline for the front piece should be deeper than the neckline for the back piece. So what I did was to place my tape from the shoulder line to mark 5 inches. For a plus size person, you should mark 6 inches. Now I went ahead to connect the neck width to the neck depth as shown. Now I took out the back piece so I could easily trim out the neckline for the front piece. The next step is to place the back piece on the front piece equally. I'll be making a straight stitch to secure the shoulders by ½ inch. After I secured the shoulder, the next thing I did was to use a bias tape to secure the neckline. Alright, after securing the neckline, this is how it should be. Now I'll be showing you how I made the pockets. So I had 2 pieces of this Ankara print. The width of the pocket is 10 inches. While the length of the pocket is 12 inches. From the width of this fabric, I folded the edges by ½ inch and folded it again by 1 inch. I took this to the sewing machine to make a straight stitch to secure the fold. Alright, so the next thing I did was to take the patch pocket to my ironing board to fold the edges by ½ inch as shown. So I used my iron to fold the edges, and I also did same for the second pocket. To know the placement of the pockets, I placed my tape vertically from the shoulder line to mark the half length line. So the half length line is actually 14 inches. I added extra 1½ inches to the 14 inches, which made it 15.5 inches. So I'll be marking this to connect the points horizontally. The next step is to mark the midpoints of this line. And from the midpoint, I marked 1.5 inches on this side to place the pockets directly on the point. I went ahead to pin the pockets. Now I also marked 1.5 inches from the midpoint on this other side and placed the second pocket directly on the point to pin them together. I'll take it to my sewing machine to secure the sides, following the direction of my finger, and when I get to this point, I stitch it, making sure that there's an opening there. I also did the same for the second pocket. So the pocket is properly attached. The next step is to get the measurements for the band. So to know the length of the band you need, you'd place the tape on the pocket, and the length here is 9.5 inches. This simply means that the length of the band should also be 9.5 inches. Alright, this is the fabric I'll be using for one of the bands. I folded it into two. Looking at it, you'd see that the width of this band is quite wider than the armhole. So I'll just leave it that way then. After attaching the band to the armhole, I'll then trim out the excess fabric. So I stated that the length of the pocket was 9.5 inches, and I'm also using it as the length of the band. So since the length of the band is 9.5 inches, I added half inch sewing allowance to that, which made it 10 inches. And by the time I attach it to the armhole of the dress, it becomes 9.5 inches. So I kept marking 10 inches till I got to the end of the fabric. So I would trim it out. I placed this on the second band to also trim out the excess fabric. The next step is to attach the band to the armhole of the dress by half inch. Alright, so the band has been attached to the armhole. The next thing I'll do is just to trim out the excess fabric on the sides of the band. I folded the front piece on the back piece equally to secure the sides by half inch. So I've secured the side and I turned the dress to the right side of the fabric. The final step is to secure the hem of the dress by folding it half inch and further folding it in by half inch. So this is the final outcome of the t-shirt. You should give it a try and I hope this tutorial was helpful. If you are new to my channel, kindly subscribe, share and like my videos, and also put on a notification bell to be notified when I upload new tutorials.